Hello and welcome to another glorious read. I'm your host, Aspen Sage. Let's get into it. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Wow, I'm jumping ahead. Halloween. I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. I hope everybody stayed safe. I know that for us, Thanksgiving's coming up and then Christmas. I hope you've started your Christmas shopping if you have started, if you celebrate, because I can tell you right now, it is hard to come by gifts. That's why I make 90% of mine for at least the adults. Children, obviously, they like toys more. Or books. In my child's case, he loves to read. So, with that being said, let's get into this book review. So, last time I did the book review on Feathers So Vicious by Liv Zanders. The next one was Shadows of Cruel. So it's book 2 of The Court of Ravens. This book, holy crap, is setting me in a tizzy. For one, at the end, I basically was like, no, you can't do that. But it's okay. It's okay. I've learned to accept what happened. It kind of reminds me of something I did in one of my other books that I'm currently writing. So left off, there was Galancha. Galancha was a human girl who happened to fall into the hands of Raven and the Raven Prince, Malir, and she fell in love with Sabian, who was his right-hand man and best friend. So Galancha was end up being basically held captive by the Ravens to basically be traded for one of the ravens that were captured by her father. And then it turned into a cruel, sick, twisted fate that she ended up being now proposed to for marriage to Malir. Of course, Sabian wasn't really having it. And it ended up being a cruel trick that Malir plays on her, that he would never actually love her. And in the end, she turns into a white raven. White ravens are supposed to be so rare. With that being said, we go into the second book where Galancha returns home. But she hasn't forgot why she was going to return in the first place. She sets free a raven woman who is one of the guard's wives. She's also a teller or a seeker. So they're supposed to be like death weavers, seeker kind of people. Like they see the either past or the future, and then you have pathfinders like Sabian. So Galancha ends up helping her escape. Her father finds out somehow that the raven has escaped, and he blames Galancha. And Galancha's like, I am sorry to disappoint you, as I always do. She basically puts it off that she had no part of the raven's escape. She wasn't even known that she has a raven. She basically plays it dumb as she can do it, just to be disappointing to her father, so her father doesn't get suspicious. And of course, the woman that raised her, she's like, are you even my real mother? Did you sleep with a raven? What's going on? And basically, she tells her that she has lost so many children. So this book does have the trigger warning of infertility and loss of children. Many, like I think she said like 13 children or 13 graves or something like that. So she ends up basically trading Galancha for a bag of coins or something like that. So she comes across Galancha, she raises her. She finds out that she's Raven, and she basically, the reason why she tells Galancha no crying, no do this, don't do that, is that so she suppresses her Raven half to keep her safe. Of course, when this is all going on, there's Malir, who has one of her ravens, and basically knows that she is his fated mate. He tries to get her back. Sabian and him have fallouts. They're constantly bickering and fighting. Let's put it this way. Malir basically does attack the castle, the human castle. He takes back Galancha. And because she's a void, she sucks in shadows. She steals the shadows. So he wants to use her to raise the lost city that he put under shadows to basically fill her void, but to also basically regain his kingdom. During this whole thing, he now realized how messed up he's been with her. He understands that he can't be perfect. He's not Sabian. He cannot be loving and caring. He is gonna, end up hurting her here and there. But he's trying to basically atone for what he did. Because her void is so empty and his shadows are so overtaking, they realize they have to bond. But that leaves one person out. That leaves Sabian. And Sabian's like, where am I? Like, he's my best friend. I chose to love her even though my mate's gone. Because poor Sabian has a pretty rough past. He is definitely that side character that you love. So they end up agreeing to this treaty, as I put it, because I can't say it's a complete bond. It's basically a love triangle. Malir doesn't like it completely, and he does get jealous of Sabian. And Sabian tells him that basically you could suck it up or you lose her. And that's what Galancha basically tells him too. So she agrees to bond with Malir in hopes that she also gets to keep Sabian. So she's like, okay. They're like, yep, we can agree to this love triangle. We can all share one nest. And they do. They make like the perfect trio. It kind of reminds me of back to when I used to read the dragon books, where it was the two males who needed a female mate. So they kind of just share a nest. They have the perfect trio. Malir does his princey things. He knows that Sabian's always going to be with her. And when Sabian's not with her, Malir's with her. Or it's just both of them together. And they actually like go out and party. They enjoy each other. So it's actually a really nice like trio love interest. It is an enemies to lovers book. There is a tragedy that does happen. They go to war. And I don't want to ruin it, even though I'm dying to tell you what happens. But let's just say that your heart does get shattered. There is an event that takes place, and it was already foretold in that said prophecy, I guess is the best way to put it. It was foreseen, and they knew about it for a while. They just didn't tell Malir, they didn't tell Galancha, they didn't tell anybody else. They kept it to themselves. So it was nice to see that this author did put some lighthearted moments. There is some dark moments. It's a good book. Like, it definitely hits hard. There is sentimental moments at the end that you're like, aw. And then there is some oh shit moments that you're like, oh my god. But yet you saw or foreseen coming. Like I said, this book was really good. The Court of Ravens is a really good series. I definitely recommend. It is definitely a 5-star read in my opinion. The spice level is a high 4.7. Sometimes it reaches a 5 mark. But it's such a really good book and suggest adding it to your bookshelf. On the dark romance side, I definitely think it's higher up. It's definitely not a lighthearted dark romance like Lights Out or anything. And of course, I'm not that far in the Haunted Adeline to specify if it's close to that. But it's definitely on the darker scale. Especially the way they kill people and how this author describes corpses and how the shadows actually like kill people. So yeah, this book is actually really good. This series is good. So I definitely suggest reading it. Especially if you like the dark romance, the lover to enemies, or the enemies the lovers, because it does bounce back and forth. The whole best friend and fated mate bonds. So it is really beautifully done. I will admit that in these books, shadow foreplay is big. So I don't know. It's definitely well done, especially for the idea of the ravens and being the black ravens who shape into their unkindness with like 5 ravens. And then you have the white ravens, which is also a really beautiful aspect of it, especially where white ravens are actually rare, no different than the book. I will admit, though, that I would have liked to see more, other white reavers. I know that some do pop up in this book. They find out that the farmers have adopted more children that were left behind when the capital was destroyed by Melier, basically. And they adopted them, and they end up being like white ravens and other raven children and raven people that needed help. So I would have liked to see more of them or more abilities. Like, Galancha is so different. She's not just a void, she's a thief. So she can steal magic and use their magic. She can steal different abilities. And this is a crucial part in the story, too. Because not only does she use it to help take over a kingdom to basically save herself and the men she loves, in the end, she ends up gaining a 6th raven. So it's beautifully done. I will give Liv Zanders top rating A+++ for this design. I love this book. With that being said, now the series is done, however. I don't think she's making a 3rd book to go with it. Like a epilogue. Galancha has a child or something. So, with that being said, we had to jump to something else. And we're going back to Lillian Harris's books of the Mafias. This one's actually the Bratfas. So it's about, if you know my past reviews on the Irish mob, the dangerous, the savage lovers and stuff like that, the age gap romances, the forced marriages. This one is actually about the Russians that you pop up throughout the stories. So this is really good because this one's about Constantine, the man who says he'll never fall in love, he'll never marry. I'm only 25% through it. But the book is so good so far because this poor man, he's just like, oh, this woman intrigues me, this lioness. She is beautiful. She's confident. Secretly, I'm pretty sure she's a cop and like infiltrating his world to save her brother. So he's fallen hard, and she's just like, I should not give in to temptation with him. She goes, I have a job to do. But yet, you know how the story goes. She's just like, how can I resist that? So, it's so far a good book. I can't wait to do that review. With that being done, though, I am working on my other books. I am adding the more fine details. I have jumped up to, I think, my 5th book in the series. 4th book? 5th. I had to think, sorry. So the 5th book, trying to write, and as I'm writing, I'm now looking at my covers more. I'm looking at the titles more. What details need to be changed. So I know my 3rd book, I might change the title, especially where the book has not been released before. As for my revision editions, they are getting peaked perfect in my opinion, and I can't wait to share them with all you readers. But as always, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Go do something for yourself. Go do an adventure. Go get a new book. Get a treat. Maybe meet up with friends. Do a dinner. Just enjoy yourselves. And if you really want to just be alone in silence and comfort, get a nice cozy blanket, nice comforting drink, a nice book, and fall into that fantasy realm. I'm really hoping, at least for Christmas, that I get like the projector screen that does like the fantasy realm on it. I'm excited about that. So, if not, I might have to buy it for myself. But with that being said, that is it for today's review. Pick up The Court of Ravens. I'm telling you, you guys will love this series, especially if you like the dark romance reading. With that, thank you for listening in, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.